And U.S. President Donald Trump has said that U.S. will retrieve Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium and destroy it.
And speaking to reporters at the Oval Office, Trump said that Washington will not let Tehran retain its enriched uranium. Trump also said that the U.S. does not want any toll on the Strait of Hormuz, adding that Iran is losing close to $500 million a day as no ship has been able to get past the strait without U.S. approval.
There hasn't been a ship that's been able to get through without our approval. And the Navy has done an amazing job. And no ship is going to Iran, as you know. No ship is going to, or out of Iran without our approval. No, we get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it.
Well, Trump was also asked whether he plans to attend the wedding of his son this weekend, to which he responded saying he will try and make it since the timing wasn't good as he is occupied with the war in Iran.
I'm in the midst. I said, you know, this is not good timing for me. I have a thing called Iran and other things. That's one I can't win on. If I do attend, I get killed. If I don't attend, I get killed. By the fake news, of course, I'm talking about.
Well, separately, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has expressed optimism that Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir's visit to Tehran will advance diplomacy on ending the war. Speaking to reporters, Rubio said that the U.S. president prefers a good deal with Iran. Listen to this.
But obviously, we're dealing with a system that itself is a little fractured, so the Iranian system. And so, but that said, there'll be a couple visits. I understand, I believe the Pakistanis will be traveling to Tehran today, so hopefully that'll advance this further. The president's preference is to do a good deal. That's his preference. It's always been his preference.
However, a report by Saudi-owned media outlet Al Arabiya has said that Munir will not travel to Iran today, but Iranian media reports say that Munir's visit is aimed at continuing talks and consultations with Iranian authorities. Now, the visit assumes significance as it follows Trump's warning that negotiations to end the war were on the borderline between a deal and renewed strikes.
Meanwhile, a report by Al Arabiya says that a final draft of a U.S.-Iran agreement has been reached, including an immediate ceasefire, freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, gradual sanctions relief and negotiations on outstanding issues. Well, the report claims that the final draft agreement could be announced during Munir's visit.
However, a senior Iranian official has told voters that talks are progressing, but no deal has been reached yet. Furthermore, the Iranian source told Reuters that differences between Washington and Tehran have narrowed to Iran's uranium enrichment and its control over the Strait of Hormuz.
Meanwhile, in the United States, Republicans called off vote on Iran war resolution that was on the verge of passing. The resolution seeks to rein in Trump's military campaign in Iran, but as it became clear that Republicans would not have the numbers to defeat the bill, the GOP leaders declined to hold a vote on it, inviting sharp criticism from the Democrats.
All right, to discuss more, we are now being joined by Peter Kuznick from Washington, D.C. He's a professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Always a pleasure talking to you. I'd like to, of course, start with what Trump has now said, that he has vowed that U.S. will get the uranium at the same time. There are also reports that Moshtaba Khamenei has said that no uranium will go out of the country. Now, again, this is a sticking point which remains, and it seems like it goes back to the same points. They're not happy with each other's concessions. Where do you think the talks are headed?
They're at loggerheads. They've been stuck in the same place for 6 weeks since the ceasefire began. Neither side is budging, and Trump is in a very difficult position right now. He doesn't have any good options. His approval ratings are dropping by the day. Support for the war is below 30%, really, and there's a lot of pressure on him from his own party. There's a bit of a rebellion going on in the Republican ranks. Some of it's about this corrupt deal that Trump is trying to put through now for $1.8 billion. But we saw with that war powers vote today that finally Republicans are starting to stand up to Trump, and they were going to vote to stop the authorization for this war, and so they canceled the vote. So Trump is in a very, very difficult position, which makes it even more dangerous because he's capable of lashing out in a very reckless way. And we know there have been a lot of nuclear threats going on. Recently, Vance, who's considered to be one of the more dovish members of the administration, said that the United States has a lot of tools in its toolkit that it hasn't used yet. And people know what that means. We make nuclear threats, but Trump makes threats every day. One time he's going to say we're very close to a deal, and they want a deal. The next day he threatens to bomb them back to the Stone Ages or to erase Iranian civilization in the next 24 hours. So we're all over the place on this, but it's not looking positive right now because Iran knows that it has Trump where they want him, and they know that Trump is much more desperate. The CIA recently reported that Iran can hold out for 3 to 4 months with the Strait of Hormuz being blockaded. The United States is under a lot of pressure, as is the world economy, because it's not only the Americans, the Iranians who are suffering, people in India are suffering, farmers in India are suffering, and all across the world, a lot